the whole Liam Kumar Day effect, not really happening.
Nigel couldn't make it.
Yeah.
I rang up Mendon all, he said he could make it.
Don't dig this hole. Phil, credit to the guy, he always manages to do well what he has, but he is a shocking personality. You guys got a trophy? No.
It was pre-event.
No, my life from Rashad Mendon.
Right, you go. Cancel. I'm a tag, Jack. I'm a fucking tag.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the LOC Report. It's mock draft show, which means it's only one show away from the draft. We're nearly there. Gentlemen and ladies, if we have any lady fans watching, which I doubt very much, but it doesn't matter because we're here with Chris, the co-host, and we're here with Coach Burdett, who isn't on the screen, but you can hear him. How's it going, fellas? More importantly, how are you feeling now, Chris?
I mean, as you can probably tell by the fact that I'm not trying to cough every 10 seconds this week, I'm doing okay. I've got a new room for quarantine, so all's well. So yeah, I'm not like confined to a bed. So yeah, I think life is a little bit better than we found it this time last week, I have to say. And yeah, it's the COVID's no joke. It does exist.
Yeah. That does exist, and we're glad to hear you're feeling better. And by the way, how was the Becky's care package? You can be honest live on air; it's fine. Tasty, good, yeah. And that means you're feeling better if you've got your taste back, or it just is really tasty because you can taste it despite that.
True. I have every bit of my taste back. It only lasted for 3 days. Funny enough, I went into a shower with no smell and taste and came out of the shower with it, or with everything. So maybe that's just what you got to do.
So what we've learned there is what everybody knows, that to cure life's ills, have a shower. Whether it's a hangover or COVID, you will feel better.
Exactly that. It doesn't matter what it is. Yeah.
See, we're not just a fantasy football podcast here. We actually help with other things. So we've got a live viewer. Hello to whoever our random viewer is. Please do comment as we go along. We can interact with you in the show. Ollie, how are you doing? Second show in a row for you.
Not too bad. Thankfully, COVID-free.
Yeah, that's good to guess. The LOC COVID measures in place have ensured that we have limited the isolation to just Chris, so it's good that we're not going to speak just before draft day as well, so even more important for that. So, right, should we get to some news, fellas?
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, okay, cool. It would help if I had the news jingle ready because, we're going into the league news. And the big thing in the league news, of course, is still that the draft is set for the 4th of September. The time is still just to be confirmed. It will still be, hopefully, should be able to confirm, actually maybe tomorrow, but very shortly, if not tomorrow. But it will be sometime after 2 p.m, could be any time in the afternoon or the evening. And the location, if you are going to be there in person, it will be my house in Whiteley. I'll obviously send the address out for that nearer the time. But if you need to do it virtually, of course, that's no problem at all. We have a few virtual guys joining anyway, so that's all good. As well as that, we'll be having a post-draft podcast and board game, especially because Chris unfortunately missed out on the post-division lining event board game, as well as the division lining event as well, of course. So we'll be doing that, and a pod if people want to as well. And of course, as we go up to the draft, you must pay your subs. Thankfully, most people have now done this, so thank you very much, as I've bought everything other than the case of Corona for the champion. Naming and shaming, Ollie, Gardner, and Mike Taylor, if you're watching, pay your subs, as I am currently withholding your draft pick, so it is in your interest.
Oh dear.
Yes.
Oh dear.
Yeah. More on that in a bit. The other thing of news is we actually have some London games this year. So if you wanted to go to the Jets-Falcons game and want us to get the tickets, let us know, because we'll be doing that on Wednesday. We have already got tickets for the Jags-Dolphins one. Speaking of which, very conveniently and amazingly, we have a Wembley Bowl taking place in week 6 between the Detonators and Gridiron Gang with the Jaguars and Dolphins game. So that worked out very nicely in the end. We'll love to see it. Week 6, I can't remember if it looks like one of our, I think from the schedule reveal, I think it was probably one of our leaner games. We probably would have picked out the Detonators Gridiron Gang anyway, Chris. So just even more cements that as probably the marquee matchup for that week.
100%. That's it. That's always what you want to see. And good that it's back, actually, because it's been a long time.
Yeah, it does feel like a long time. Yeah, we've definitely missed it all this, so... no, it'll be good to be back. So we will mosey on into Debate Corner then. Where is he? Let me find him. He's kicking around the room somewhere. John Barker, would you please usher us in to Debate Corner? Order. Thank you, John. So, Debate Corner this week. I said more on that later. Debate Corner is, who will pay their subs first? Will it be Mike Taylor or will it be Ollie Gardner? And side note to Debate Corner, do we need to institute some sort of forfeit or something for the last person to pay subs?
It should be Mike, because he'll see you before the 4th of September.
Yes, I can remind him at football, so which I should have done on last Saturday, but I forgot.
Yeah, you would think so. If he doesn't pay him, then I'll make him pay him.
As his boss.
I'm not going to go as far as that. I'm not going as far as that. That's it. I'm responsible for no one, especially Mike's subs. But that's it. Yeah, it seems the right thing to do. He said, all I can say is that he's got the money. Oh, he got him, the other hand, I don't know. So he's lost in the Midlands, isn't he? So we don't really know where he is.
Yeah, I mean, he might not even have internet. I hear he's joining the draft by Telegram. So
yeah, absolutely. So you got to post it in. Yeah. Do I think there's forfeits needed for the last person who pays their subs? No, because that's it. The forfeit is.
You don't get your draft picks, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Which thankfully we've not had to enact yet since I started doing it. As you say, it's been very effective. The forfeit is there, I suppose. So, yeah. But let's not put that to the test, shall we, folks? Ollie, what do you make of Debate Corner?
No, as long as they pay on time, no forfeits needed.
Yeah, and you agree with Chris's assessment of who will pay first?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there you go. So thank you, John Barkow, for bringing us to Debate Corner. So on to the main meat and bones of the show, though, mock draft. That's what we all came here to see, obviously. So we each divvied up the teams between us. We actually had a little fun swing on it this year. Oh, wow, Mike has actually commented in the show, and he's just mentioned on Facebook, Mike has now paid his subs. That is a very swift resolution to Debate Corner, which is usually an open-ended question. But actually had a resolution. Thank you, Mike.
That guy wants to draft. That guy wants to win.
He wants his draft picks. See, you've been marked off.
He's what team he's got.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you may be asking for a refund.
You picked the right show to be. But then again, if there's one thing I know about Mike is that when he's in the game, he's in the game. So if he wants to win, so
yeah, he's listening to a podcast. It's August 23rd. He's now in. He started off FPL fantasy. He's got all that out of the way. He's got his team set. Now he's in LOC fantasy mode.
Absolutely, this is it. This is him. September to December now. So it's going to be borrowing away till then. That's it.
I mean, you've paid your £4, Mike, so you're going to find out who you're getting, according to us anyway. So yeah, we divvied up the teams between us. We did draft our own teams this year, which is a change from previous years. Other than that, you can see on the screen, hopefully, who had what. I will read it quickly for you if you can't, or if you're listening later. So Padistan was Ollie's to pick. Ross's team was Chris's. Ollie Gardner's was mine to pick. Mike, you were bucking the trend, was picked by Ollie as well. Obviously, I picked my own team. Chris picked Ben's team. Ollie picked his own team. Chris picked his own team. I picked the newcomer Dave Henderson's team. Ollie picked Viv's team. I picked my dad's team, and Chris picked Tom's team. So yeah, we've done a full 13-round mock draft. All of the picks there. So yeah, we'll just go through it round by round. We've also got a sheet so we can see the teams at the end and where they went, so we can maybe see our favourite and least favourite teams. So starting at the top of the draft, then round 1, we have Christian McCaffrey to Pat at number 1. Number 2, Alvin Kamara to Ross's team. Number 3, Derek Henry to UR Gold. 4 is Dalvin Cook to Bucking the Trend. 5 is Ezekiel Elliott to Gridiron Gang. 6 is Nick Chubb to Ixan. 7 Aaron Jones to Burdett Natives. 8 Saquon Barkley to Forge Flyers. 9 Devontae Adams to Napolitans. 10 Tyreek Hill to the Dream Team. 11 Jonathan Taylor to Benicestes. And 12 is Kevin Ridley to Tom's Tyrants. Before we get into that, Mike has had another comment. He says he don't want that abomination of the mock I've just seen. Well, he can only see, I think, the first 3 picks here, so Clearly, he doesn't like something. Can't be Dalvin Cook. He doesn't like though, can it, guys?
He could. I mean, he could have joined in. I mean, so much for that. And
I don't see what's wrong with this team.
That's it. Well, we'll see in a minute.
I suppose actually I did flash onto the team, and he may have seen that one, so potentially he did see his entire.
All that he's saying is if he either doesn't like his team or he's not a Bucks fan. That's all.
You got someone to support. Yes.
Or both.
Anyway, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. This is the suspense.
Yeah. So round one. So I think pretty much as you would expect it, all the way down. Maybe the things of note there, obviously having Kamara returning to Ross's team. What else have we got that's of interest? Saquon Barkley at 8. I mean, obviously he's coming off that knee tear, but before that he was obviously an absolutely elite running back and arguably would be within the top 4 picks if it weren't for that. So I don't think you can critique that one. And then Calvin Ridley to Tom's Tyrants being the Falcons fan, and obviously Jonathan Taylor as well to my dad's team. So pretty box standard first round, I would say there.
Yeah, there's nothing that really comes that really sticks out for us. Yeah, obviously all 3 of the top receivers this year that we expect the top receivers to be went in the first round. So yeah, I think the problem is that we were talking about this when we were doing it. Is that the running back call this year? There are a certain amount of running backs that you would definitely want, but also there are then those that are definitely second rounders, but you don't have to pick and you don't have to go for a running back in the system that we run. So
for sure. Okay, then on to round 2. So Tom's pick, the doubleheader, of course. So with pick 13, he goes Najee Harris, the first rookie off the board there, running back from Pittsburgh. Then we have Travis Kelce to bare necessities at 14, Stephon Diggs to the Dream Team at 15, Joe Mixon at 16 to Napolitans, Austin Eckler to Forge Flies at 17, Antonio Gibson to Bedednays at 18, Patrick Mahomes to Ixan at 19, DeAndre Hopkins to Gridiron Gang at 20, DK Metcalf going back to bucking the trend at 21, David Montgomery at 22 to You Are Gold, Justin Jefferson at 23 to Southampton Narwhals, and then AJ Brown at 24 to Pedestan. So again, a few repeats here. So yeah, we have the first rookie off the board in this round. Travis Kelce goes back to bare necessities. What else we got? First quarterback off the board, Patrick Mahomes to Ixan at pick 19, mid second round pick. DeAndre Hopkins, after a few years away, goes back to Gridiron Gang. Obviously DK Metcalf going back to bucking the trend. So quite a lot of returners here. David Montgomery to You Are Gold, the Bears fan. And did Pat have AJ Brown last year? I feel like he did, didn't he?
I think he did.
Yeah.
So what do we make of round 2? First quarterback off the boards, probably, and the first rookie running back is probably the biggest thing here.
Yeah, I mean it's about right. If Mahomes dropped past second round, I'd be very surprised in any draft. In comparison to who you could have. But yeah, I mean, say the first rookie running back. I mean, yeah, but he's definitely not one of that edge already. Yeah,
400 touches or something. Isn't it?
100%. So it's not as if Ben's running around anymore, is it? So
no, I don't know. He's trying that new diet. Apparently, he's slimmed down to a lean 300 pounds.
Oh. I still want that running at me, but then again, I'd rather have some young, hungry running back do my legwork, I think, at this point of his career.
True. Yeah, so pretty book standard second round then to be expected. So we'll see what round 3 brought in the LOC mock draft. Right at the top at pick 25 was J.K. Dobbins to Pakistan. 26 is Chris Carson to Ross's team. 27 Allen Robinson, the second to You Are Gold. 28 was Mike Evans to Bucking the Trend. 29 Keenan Allen to Gridiron Gang. 30 George Kittle to Ixan. 31 Josh Allen to Bedednators. 32 Josh Jacobs to Forge Flies. 33 Clyde Edwards-Helaire to Napolitans. 34 Miles Sanders to the Dream Team. 35 Darrell Henderson to Bare Necessities. And 36 Julio Jones to Tom's Tyrants. So the things to point out in this round: Allen Robinson as well as Montgomery goes to Ollie Gardner, the Bears fan. Mike Evans goes to Mike's team, bucking the trend, being a Bucks fan. The Dream Team take Miles Sanders as the Philly fan, and Darrell Henderson goes back to Ben Necessities, and Julio Jones, obviously a long-time Falcon, but now a Titan, goes to Tom's team. So what do we make of round 3?
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of fan favourites in there. I definitely get that. I think if you're you're going to play this game, you're going to have got to have someone to support, especially on a team that you could potentially support as well. But it's not just that. There are certain players who you just genuinely root for because, well,
Yeah.
Why not?
Sure.
But there's nothing there. Again, nothing there that says, or that there's nothing of too high a value or too low a value in a higher round. You'd expect all those players to go in that round. If they went any later, any earlier, you may think, wow, what's that all about? But I don't think you can really argue with that. And yeah, especially some quite big names in there, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. On to round 4 then. So we have Terry McLaurin to Tom's Tyrants. Darren Waller, third tight end off the board to Ben Estes, and that's the second tight end for Ben Estes so far. Amari Cooper to the Dream Team, Lamar Jackson to Napolitans, CeeDee Lamb to Forge Flyers, Miles Gaskin to Bed Natives, Robert Woods Dixon, who has been a Robert Woods owner previously, DeAndre Swift to Gridiron Gang, who he featured on Gridiron Gang last year, Chris Godwin to Bucking the Trend along with Mike Evans, Aaron Rodgers back to Ross's team after obviously him leading him to his championship last year, and then Russell Wilson to Pakistan. Some interesting tidbits here in round 4, would you say?
Yeah, I mean, we before the pod, obviously, Mike's slagging his team off already, but I mean, if I had a receiving core at this point of Evans, Godwin, and DK Metcalf with Dalvin Cook behind it, I'd be feeling pretty good about that. That really does cap things off here. You look at a guy like Darren Waller, perhaps, who you think top of the 4th round, maybe not, but the guy is a monster and he's the number 1 receiver on the team.
2 Cowboys receivers go.
Yeah, and not only 2 Cowboys receivers, but in terms of I've deleted them out of the sheet now, but CeeDee Lamb has been going ahead of Cooper in a lot of places, so interesting that Cooper goes ahead of him in our mock draft.
Well, this is it. I mean, the Cowboys fan is the only person who can really comment on this because
Cooper will have a better year than Lamb.
Okay, you've heard it.
More highlights than Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically the gist of it. And then Gallup will have the highest average yards per catch. That's basically what it's going to come down to.
Well, they've been putting him in the slot, Gallup. I've been seeing. They've but then that was when Cooper was on the shelf, perhaps. So,
yeah.
I think let's skip.
Because Gallup's in a contract year, so he's going to want to get as much his way as possible. We signed Cooper to a long-term contract,
and obviously Lamb's on his contract.
Obviously,
so,
do you think that the Dallas offense is much like the Seahawks one, in the sense that you've got that guy with the experience in Cooper as the sort of Tyler Lockett kind of all-rounder, you've got Lamb as the DK Metcalf, and then Gallup as your third receiver, or do you think it's better than that?
Pour one out to the Seahawks' third receiver, who is unnamed.
Paul Richardson.
Is he still there? He can't be there. No. He can't be there.
Paul Richardson's gone to the Panthers, I think.
He used to be. He was the third guy for. I don't
They've
know.
got what's his name, David Eskridge or whoever that rookie was.
Oh.
David Moore, is it? No, I'm pretty sure he's gone too.
Eskridge is.
I'm just. Oh yeah, no, it does look like Dwayne Eskridge. So there you go, Dwayne Eskridge. You are the Michael Gallup, the Seahawks.
Is it Lamb's breakout year? That's what I want to know, because I think that it's got all the makings of it. No.
If you've been watching Hard Knocks, they would seem to be suggesting it may well be.
I'd say that it was a weird one. It was kind of, he just stepped right into it last year, but everyone just forgets that Cowboys' offense went bad because obviously we had.
Oh, it was that going down, but
Ben DiNucci, Garrett Gilbert, and Andy Dalton throwing the ball. It's
good luck, Bears fans.
Starting one of them will just be a pain week in, week out.
Yeah, sure. The other thing of note in this round, we have 4 quarterbacks, counting 4 that went off the board. Lamar Jackson, pick 40, and then the last 3 picks of the round, Murray, Rodgers, and Wilson.
Yeah, well, once one goes, many go. I think people get a bit jumpy on the.
We do
get twitchy.
We do see the run happen around here, usually around 4-5 in the draft. So
especially this year. Well, and this is what we found is that this year I think that you probably got 6 high-end QBs. Everyone else is pretty much on the same level. So if you're going to want to get one, you've got to get one early. But it's big draft capital for those guys.
Mm-hmm.
But
it has said the software has reconnected. Let's see if YouTube comes back alive. It does appear YouTube has come back alive.
That's good to know.
So but we pretty much just finished up what we were talking about. We're back on the stream as well. The quarterbacks anyway. So on to round 5 then. So at the top of round 5, pick 49, we have Tyler Lockett to Pakistan, 50 Adam Thielen to Ross's team, 51 Cooper Kupp to your gold, 52 Mike Davis to bucking the trend, building the NFC South superstars there. 53 Dak Prescott to Gridiron Gang, 54 Kareem Hunt to Ixan, 55 Chase Edmonds to Bedenators, 56 DJ Moore to Fudge Flyers, he's a returner, 57 Kyle Pitts, the rookie tight end to Neapolitans, I think second rookie off the board in this draft so far. T. Higgins at 58 to the Dream Team, Justin Herbert at 59 to Ben Estes, and Travis Etienne to Tom's Tyrants at pick 60. So the few things of interest we have here then, so we have the Kyle Pitts off the board. What else do we have? Cooper Kupp, going back to your gold, he's been there before, as has DJ Moore at Forge Flyers, he was there last year. We have another rookie in Travis Etienne going there at the back end of the round 2. Anything else of interest there to you guys?
Not particularly. I think the first 3 receivers are pretty much givens. Mike Davis at that price could be very good value. I think. Ben's gone double on the Browns, which I think
I skipped over that. Yeah, so we've had our first handcuff effectively of the draft in Kareem.
Yeah, I mean, Ollie's done this before. He might be able to have a bit more insight into it, but he did it one year. I can't remember exactly what team it was. But,
the 49ers I did it with.
It could be. That's it. I can't remember. It was one year where they had 2 very strong running backs.
It may have even been the Bills a long time ago. Was it CJ Spiller and Fred Jackson?
I think I've done it a couple of times.
But it's worked. So I just think that's my point here, is that every time you seem to have 2 quality running backs with that. The thing is
with the Browns, it's not even like he's a handcuff to him, because they use
he's almost flex worthy in his own right. Yeah.
And the way which they're planning on running the book is there's enough for both of them to get 15 touches a game, and it wouldn't look strange.
Sure.
No. I say, and especially if you consider that Chubb may not get the goal on every time, and if he doesn't, then it's great, because Hunt could have the standalone value of 2 touchdowns a game and only go for 10 yards.
The issue having 2 from the same team is you cap your upside a little bit.
Perhaps.
Especially with the shallower starting lineup. If 2 of your players have a bad day against a good rushing team, that's a lot of your starting lineup.
That is, but with the Browns, who run a lot, and I mean a lot, I think they are the top rushing side in the NFL.
But they also face the Ravens and Steelers twice a year.
Yeah,
they run all over them. I'm struggling to think of a time the Browns. What's his face? He did it when he was at
the Vikings.
The Vikings as well. He's basically an
improved
Mike Shanahan run game, which is a bold statement.
Very.
Well, but it was proven.
Kyle Shanahan even.
Both of them.
Yeah.
They both have the run.
Yeah, learn it from somewhere, I suppose.
Alright then, on to round 6. So we have another quarterback off the board, perhaps a bit higher than some of the ADP and stuff suggests. Ryan Tannehill, pick 61 to Tom Tyrants. Ben Estes take their 3rd tight end at pick 62 with Mark Andrews. Tom Brady at 63 to the Dream Team. Raheem Mostert to Neapolitans at 64. Courtland Sutton back to Forge Flies at pick 65. Deontay Johnson to Burdett Natives at 66. Ixan take Kenny Golladay at 67. Gridiron Gang take their team, the Patriots running back Damien Harris at 68. Bucking the trend take Jamar Chase at 69. Your goal take Odell Beckham at pick 70. Ross's team have Brandon Ayuk at 71 and Pedestal take Chase Claypool at pick 72. Anything interesting in round 6 to you guys? It's pretty run-of-the-mill round 6, I would say.
I think it is. I think it gets to the round now, though, where you could put your hat on half of those people will have an awful year. Take away the 2 quarterbacks and look at the more skilled positions.
Yeah.
And half of them will be, like, amazing. It's that kind of round now. Where
yeah, we're in that part of the draft, yeah.
Yeah, I think a guy like Kenny Golladay, who in the years gone by has been a second, well, maybe not a second round, but a 3rd or 4th round pick comfortably, and he's down there in the 6th round. I know he's with the Giants now, but it's not that much of a come down in offense. I think it's probably a good move for him there.
I think it's less about his talent. I don't think anyone's questioning the talent. Yeah. It's more about him actually having hamstrings.
That's true, but yeah. So
and if Daniel Jones being, well,
not Daniel Jones of the first 3 years in the NFL.
Yeah, well, maybe, but yes, it can't be any worse than being a Detroit Lion.
But Stafford was actually good. That's
yeah, but nothing else was.
No.
Marvin Jones was alright. Marvin Jones. It was the defense that led down that Lions team last year. That offense,
yeah,
no
right,
problem.
Yeah. Their defense was awful. Yeah, I give you that. But no, if he can have even 6 or 7 games like Kenny Golladay we know of, I think that's probably all right down there.
All right then. Round 7 then. So we have Leonard Fournette to the Bucs fan Pakistan. Mike is tearing up his draft sheets at this point out of frustration that he misses out on Leonard Fournette. That's pick 73. TJ Hawkinson at 74 to Ross's team. Javonte Williams at 75 to your gold. James Robinson is what Mike would settle for without Leonard Fournette there at pick 76. Zach Moss back to Gridiron Gang at 77. Melvin Gordon the third to Ixan at 78. Didier Chark to Burdett Natives at 79. Brandon Cooks to Forge Flyers at 80. Devonta Smith to the Eagles fan. Dave Henderson at pick 81. Deebo Samuel to the Dream Team at pick 82. Trey Sermon, the Niners running back to rookie running back at 83 to Ben Necessities, and then Michael Carter, the Jets running back to Tom's Tyrants at 84. What do we make of round 7?
Well, it's definitely one where your darts are at certain running backs.
Yeah, I mean, there's 1, 2, 3 rookie running backs and a rookie receiver in this round. So yeah.
It's one, but then again, you're not spending a lot to do it. So if you're at this point and you're still
round 7 isn't a starter on most teams, other than maybe like a quarterback if you've waited.
No, and there are reasonably strong. I mean, you think a guy like James Robinson, who had a fantastic year last year, as Ollie will tell you.
Yeah.
It propelled him a long way. Going down there in the 7th round. I mean, that could, I know that he's splitting time with Etienne this year and Carlos Hyde. But
I think that's a very generous shout out to Carlos Hyde.
Yeah, I'm going to give Carlos Hyde some love.
If that guy gets more than 10 carries.
Carlos Hyde's been on a lot of teams.
What's his face? Like, who's the new?
Well, I think maybe he was his coach at Ohio State. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. That is fact. Yeah, for sure. That's it.
All right, 15 carries.
But yeah, a guy like that going down there, after people like Hawkinson and Jamal Williams, and I think that could be, if somebody gets him down there, you can be quite happy with that, I think.
Okay. Round 8 then. So at the top we have Jerry Jeudy at 85 to Tom's Tyrants, Ronald Jones II at 86 to Ben Necessities, Robert Tonyan to the Dream Team at 87, Juju Smith-Schuster at 88 to Neapolitans, Tyler Boyd at 89 to Forge Flies, Michael Gallup to Cowboys fan Burdett Natives at pick 90, Michael Thomas who is obviously going to miss possibly half the season at 91 to Ixan. Robbie Anderson at 92 to Gridiron Gang. Joe Burrow 93 to Bucking the Trend. Marquise Brown goes back to You Are Gold at pick 94. David Johnson to Ross's team at pick 95, and then Curtis Samuel goes back to Pakistan, but obviously for the football team now to Pakistan. So what do we make of round 8?
Can we just talk about how far Juju's dropped in 2 years?
I mean, round 8, it's lower, but it's. I'm trying to think. 2 years ago when I took him, I think he was around 3-4 pick. He was a bit lower last year, no? He was more like a 5-6.
Yeah. That's it.
He's kind of creeping down. Yeah, if anything, based on the last 2 years, you'd probably say he's holding up better.
He's got to be the oldest. What is he? 24 years old.
Yeah.
The oldest 24-year-old in football.
Yeah, so he's been there, shot, and he's passed it.
Well, yeah, this is his. Well, yeah, he just he didn't get the rookie option, did he? He signed a 1-year deal to stay with the Steelers, so he's entering his 5th year. But yeah, like you say, still a very young player.
Because he actually had not a bad year last year.
PPR, he'd be a good pick.
Oh, yeah,
certainly at this point, but
even then, anything's the Steelers' offense is one of those weird ones where it's like they could have a week and score like 50 points, and then they could go the next week and score 3.
Yeah,
they're not a consistent team.
No, that's true.
And that's part of the issue.
Tunning's gone early as well. Tunning has gone very early.
Yeah, I mean, again, behind Devontae Adams, it's been the case year after year at the Packers that they've been looking for a second receiver. For a long time.
Aaron Rodgers thinks it's Randall Cobb, so
Yeah.
Those two are best mates.
Apparently he's living at his house, whatever that's worth. So.
Well, there you have it. He'll be on Pat McAfee's show next week together.
Or maybe he's going to hope him guest host The Price is Right. Whatever it's called. Jeopardy. Jeopardy. That's it, Jeopardy.
Come on. You actually need some intelligence to play Jeopardy. Not just higher or lower. That's it.
Alright then, round 9. Picking at 7, we have Gus Edwards to Pakistan. I think that was the handcuff to J.K. Dobbins. Pick 98 was Will Fuller to Miami fan Ross's team. Justin Fields goes at pick 99 to You Are Gold here, the Bears fan. He made sure he wanted to get them. And then we have Antonio Brown, the 4th Buccaneers player to Buccaneers Trend. No, it's the 3rd at this point, sorry. Excuse me, 3rd at this point.
Let's not get carried away.
We're about to.
LaVisca Chenault goes to Gridiron Gang at pick 101. Devin Singletary at 102 to Ixan. Nicole Hardman at 103 to the Detonators. Kenyon Drake at 104 to Forge Flyers. James Conner 105 to Neapolitans. Jalen Hurts at 106 to the Eagles fan Viv, the Dream Team. At 107, Mike Williams to Bare Necessities. And then 108 is Devontae Parker to Tom's Tyrants. What do we make of round 9?
At this point, it became very difficult to pick.
I'd say that's a pretty robust round 9 based on ADP and ranks and things. The only one that's obviously jumps out is the Justin Fields one.
Yeah. Outside of that, I don't think there's much there that's a bit like... I mean, potentially Jalen Hurts as well.
Yeah, I think ADP-wise, I think that is around where he's going, but you're right, he's almost the definition of boom-bust this year, and I think Matthew Stafford was still on the board at this point, maybe with a couple of other
I think Viv having gone with RG3 a few years ago, that might swing the...
It's round 9. This is going to be his new Hall of Fame nomination. You've heard it here first on the.
I mean, he's also got Brady as a starter, so it's not even like...
Well, it's very different, isn't it? Yeah.
I mean, Brady's rushing upside is huge, and Hurts is also...
I bet this is a thing.
Hey.
I bet Jalen Hurts could probably eclipse Brady's rushing total.
No. They give Brady too much disrespect. He's had 1,000 rushing yards in his career. Okay.
You what? In 20 years?
Yes, exactly.
Wow.
Justin Fields is the obvious probably reach there. But bearing in mind he's obviously not expected to start the season or probably for a number of weeks. Mike has commented, when is Scotty Miller getting drafted? Mike, we've got 4 rounds left, so give it time. God.
Like, if you want more Bucks players, that could have been arranged, but you've got some more on the way.
We felt bad. We got to this point where like, it's just a troll now. But, yeah. Dear. So much for that.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Round 10 then, we have the first EST off the board, the Buccaneers D to Tom's Tyrants at 109, Logan Thomas, the fourth tight end to Ben SSDs at 110, Naeem Hines to the Dream Team at 111, T.Y. Hilton to Napolitans at 112, Steelers D go back to Forge Flyers at 113, Corey Davis to Bedenators at 114, the Washington Football Team defense to Ixan at 115, Justin Tucker, the first kicker off the board to Gridiron Gang at 116, Rams D to Bucking the Trend at 117, Bears D to the Bears fan, again you are gold at 118, Jarvis Landry 119 to Ross's team, and then Harrison Butker at 120 to Pakistan. So yeah, a lot of defenses and a few kickers here in round 10.
I don't know if it's just me. I feel uneasy about kickers going in the bottom of round 10.
I mean, I would say the same about defenses. It's very a chicken and egg thing, isn't it? It's once one person takes them, it kind of triggers other people to follow.
I kind of get it with defenses because, if you get a good defensive unit and you hold them for most of the year, then it's okay.
I heard an interesting stat on a podcast earlier that I think 1 in 5 of the actually, and I think it was even lower, 17% of the defenses drafted. I think that was in the top 5 or something. Only 17% of them actually pan out of being a good option by the end of the year.
That's it, right? So yes, if you know that you're going to get a decent unit, and I think that the people in this round probably do. But
that's the point. You don't know. 17% of the drafted, only 17% become one of those top units.
I can't see those defenses not being absolute weapons this year.
You heard it here first, folks. Chris arguing with statistics.
Absolutely, it's it. It's 17%. I can't see the Bucks, the Steelers, the Washington Football Team, who are studs, and the LA Rams D regressing that much. I reckon they'll probably all still be top 5 at the end of the year.
I, if you're willing to bet, I would take you on that bet 100%. All 5 of them, no chance. We'll do it at 10 quid on an evens. How about that?
Listen, I wouldn't even go that. That's not worth my time. But no.
Yeah, because the odds of yours happening are ridiculously low.
That's why I put it out there. I put my neck on the line for a $5. But it's. I think that there's 4 of the 5. There's going to be one that's an outlier, but 4 of the 5 of those, they are easy, and I think you could probably interchange one of them with the Ravens D.
Fine, okay.
Other than that, a lot of defensive units in the NFL absolutely suck, though, don't they? So,
yeah, but you dismiss kickers, but don't forget that we obviously do have the new negative scoring, which does absolutely come into play and make having a good kicker a bit more important.
A bit more, but they're much of a muchness, I would say.
We were talking about Younghoe Koo last season as a genuine equivalent to a good receiver or running back.
That's true. But that's one of a few. I mean,
every year the league's most valuable kicker is almost certainly Jason Sanders had a great year last year, and he was really valuable at some points. We've seen Greg Zuerlein in years past. Justin Tucker's an obvious one as well. Even for you, was it Ryan Suckup? Exactly. Yes. A good kicker can really, really help your team. But yeah, anyway. Round 11 then. Baltimore Ravens at pick 121 to Pakistan. Colts D at 122 to Ross's team. Robbie Gold to You Are Gold at 123. That was the easiest mock pick of the whole draft. Ryan Suckup at 124 to Bucking the Trend. Cardinals D to Gridiron Gang at 125. Greg Zuerlein to Ixan at 126. Darnell Mooney 127 to Bedenators. Younghoe Koo to Forge Flyers at 128. Patriots D to Napolitans at 129. Saints D to the Dream Team at 130. Chiefs D to Ben SSDs at 131. And Henry Ruggs at 132 to Tom's Tyrants. So again, pretty much just defenses and kickers here. So
there's nothing to report on. Although I did, as much as you say about Younghoe, couldn't I go and pick him? So,
yeah, in round 11, such a discount compared to Round 12.
It's still 11. It's still only 2 from home then. It's all right.
Round 12. Tyler Bass at 1-3 to Tom's Torrance. Jason Sanders at 1-3-4 to Ben Estes. Rodrigo Blankenship at 1-3-5 to the Dream Team. Matt Gay at 1-3-6 to Napolitans. Matthew Stafford at 1-3-7 to Forge Flyers. 1-3-8 is the Browns to Burdett Naders. Michael Pittman Jr. at 1-3-9. Hello, Mav. To Ixan. Trey Lance at 140 to Gridiron Gang, the new podcast dog. Marvin Jones at 142 to You Are Gold. Latavius Murray at 143 to the Ross's team, and Matt Ryan at 144 to Palestine.
Come on then, Matty. You can tell everybody what you think.
Well, this is we've had a quarterback renaissance here because we've had 4 quarterbacks go in this round. I think only one another star, but good value, Matthew Stafford, I would say, round 12, which is starting quarterback, and then 3 backups in Trey Lance, Trevor Lawrence and Matt Ryan. So what do we make of round 12?
Yeah, I mean, one of those QBs is going to work out. I'm really interested to see what Trevor Lawrence does. So obviously there's been a lot of hype about his career in general over the last 3 or 4 years. And it didn't just start at college; it started before that as well. So yeah, if this guy really is the bloke,
but he has ended up with the Jags.
Well, yeah, exactly this. Yeah, if he's the guy that's turning the Jags around, then yeah, who knows? What do you think, Mavi? Do you think Trevor Lawrence is going to be the guy?
I think Mavi's saying, this is my cuddle time. What the hell are you doing a podcast?
That's it, yeah, that's it. Seemingly so. But he's quite, I say he's quite happy. He's off now. There you go. That's it.
That is fun.
He's had his time in the sun. Oh, he's had his time. Oh, all right, go on then. Your camera's shy now. All right then. Oh no, you need to go and sit on the sofa. That's it. Okay. We're all right then.
It's fine.
We've got off a stop. Yeah. Where were we?
We're on round 13 now. We're on round 13.
The round of
the round of dreams. Yeah, so we have Jalen Waddle going to Pakistan at 145, Brett Maher going to Ross's team at 146, Jamal Williams going to UR Gold at 147, Gronk to bucking the trend at 148, the 4th Buccaneer to Mike's team. Tyler Higbee at 149
to kicker as well.
Excuse me, yes. How could I forget? Tyler Higbee to Gridiron Gang at 149. Noah Fant to Ixan at 150. Mason Crosby to Blednays at 151. Justin Jackson, the handcuff to Eckler at 152. 4 tries. We've not had a lot of handcuffs in this draft. Philip Lindsay to Napolitans at 153. Tawara Williams to the Dream Team at 154. Tua Tagovailoa to Ben Estes at 155. And Mr. Irrelevant 156. Cam Newton to Tom's Tyrants. What do we make of round 13?
It's a strong end. I mean, not being funny here, it is a strong end to a draft that in round 13 you can have some of those names still there. But yeah, I mean, we played it quite safe in the sense we got a reasonable amount of handcuffing in there, and a guy like Jalen Waddle who is injured at the moment, but could be very, very good for Miami down in the 13th round. Someone like Noah Fant, who could have a breakout tight end year. Someone like Philip Lindsay as well, who without much quality down there in Houston.
Houston comes down to what's actually going to happen with Watson in the year.
Yeah, if they choose to, all these guys that we're picking low because we think that it's going to be Tyrod Taylor being the QB down there. It only takes Watson to play to turn that around.
Tyrod Taylor's not a bad quarterback.
Okay.
He's never provided a lot of fantasy, but he's one of those quarterbacks that for your team he's actually okay, but then in terms of fantasy he doesn't really bring a lot to the table.
No.
You only need to look at the Chargers last year to cement that.
They had to sabotage him to make it work, so yeah.
So that is the 30 round draft. So do we have a favourite and least favourite mock draft pick among this without going through the whole thing again?
I think all the Bucks players is probably a favourite. But for maybe different reasons.
Is there great value in there somewhere? And that's the thing you got to think of.
I think Matthew Stafford in the 12th round is a pretty damn good pick. It's not, you're not going to, in a mock draft, you're never going to say, oh my god, this is amazing, because you need the points to come through before you can actually deliver history's value. But in terms of talking value, getting a starting quarterback basically after you've drafted everyone else. It's pretty good drafting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing to consider in this draft. I think above anything else is that once somebody like Justin Herbert and maybe Brady goes, and you're in the 5th round, and you go, right, well, there's no point spending a 6th round pick on someone like Stafford because simply put, nobody's going to draft him till then because people aren't going to start doubling up on QBs until the later part of the draft anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just try and get ahead of it. So, yeah, I don't know. Let's see. I think that's going to have to be somebody's strategy in the draft. Perhaps not mine.
Sure.
It wasn't that case, but you may do. You may do better playing it that way.
Yeah.
Is there a particular pick that I like? Or is there a particular set of picks that I don't like? Do I like the 4 tight ends on Ben Necessities? This is
Yeah, we'll run down the teams now. So just to tidy it all up, maybe do a favourite team and worst team. So Ben Necessities are the top here. So in order of how they were picked: Jonathan Taylor, Travis Kelce, Darrell Henderson, Darren Waller, Justin Herbert, Mark Andrews, Trey Sermon, Ronald Jones, Mike Williams, Logan Thomas, Kansas City Chiefs D, Jason Sanders, and Tua Tagovailoa. So yeah, 4 tight ends. He did take 4 rookie running backs last year, so who knows, right?
Well, who knows? But I think that when you've got guys like Kelce and Waller and Andrews to that point, you know you're going to get a big red zone target. And often when you take receivers, is that you may get some streaky yards, but you don't necessarily get that guaranteed. So yeah, I do think that there is method to the madness there. Obviously, Logan Thomas is a big-bodied tight end as well in a team that
3rd ranked tight end last year as well. I don't know if that.
Yeah,
I think
right.
that may have been half PPR, but yeah.
Yeah, it's him and it must be between the normal guys and then him and Gesicki. But it's something that in the past I've used, Ben's used. Tight end's an underused position.
Yeah, I've used.
It's not a particularly
me
sexy
too.
pick when you're drafting because you think tight end that's not going to happen. But especially for big red zone targets, I'm a big fan.
Sure. Back in the Trends team then, so it's Dalvin Cook, DK Metcalf, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Mike Davis, Jamar Chase, James Robinson, Joe Burrow, Antonio Brown, Ramsey, Ryan Suckup, Trevor Lawrence, and Rob Gronkowski. So yeah, Bucks City this one.
It's Bucks heavy, but it doesn't have to be Bucks heavy. And that's the thing is that the top 3, Cook, Metcalf, and Evans, and if you get Godwin in there as well, that's great. If Mike Davis is the number 1 in Atlanta at 2, I know that they like to throw it out, but again, you get yourself a very solid core of a team there. And really, if one of the both Bucks goes down, you are well placed. It's not.
Indeed.
It's not as if Godwin's is made of strong stuff. He's had his injuries in the past, as has Evans. So yeah, they're there potentially to pick up the slack should you need them. But for bench players, I mean, they're the worst bench players to have. Let's be honest. And Jamar Chase is in there as well.
Sure.
Even though he can't catch at the moment, he will be able to at one point.
Yeah, you're buried if the Bucks have a bad week, though. Obviously, with that strategy.
You do, but we've seen this. Dad's done this in the past with Green Bay. Is that it didn't take long when Rodgers went down, for example, for them all to crumble and that team to fade away. But he did have 1 year. I think it was 3 or 4 years ago now. A great 2/3 of the season, first 2/3 of the season as a result of that.
Sure. And
that's really what you need to propel yourself along.
Sure. So I think we'll only point out any oddities with the teams. There is a mock draft, so we can't get too much. So I'll just run down if it's a fairly bog standard team, which is mostly on pass. So, but we have Aaron Jones, Antonio Gibson, Josh Allen, Myles Gaskin, Chase Edmonds, Deontay Johnson, DJ Chark, Michael Gallup, Mecole Hardman, Corey Davis, Darnell Mooney, Cleveland Browns, and Mason Crosby. Some nice back end of the draft receiver dart throws there, but otherwise solid team.
Yeah, love his running backs. That's going to be that would be really good if you could get that.
Yeah, your team, Chris, Forge Flies, we've got Saquon Barkley, Austin Eckler, Josh Jacobs, actually before we did Mosey on. But that is, they did take 4 running backs before they took any, 4 running backs and a quarterback they started with, so interesting if that would happen on draft day. Forge Flies, Saquon Barkley, Austin Eckler, Josh Jacobs, so 3 running backs at the start there. CeeDee Lamb, DJ Moore, Colton Sutton, Brandon Cooks, Tyler Boyd, Kenyon Drake, Steelers D, Younghoe Koo, Matthew Stafford and Justin Jackson. So you led off with 3 running backs and then went 5 receivers in a row.
Yeah.
And then finished up at the end, and obviously, as we said, Matthew Stafford, nice value pick there. Gridiron Gang is Ezekiel Elliott, DeAndre Hopkins, Keenan Allen, DeAndre Swift, Dak Prescott, Damian Harris, Zach Moss, Robbie Anderson, Laviska Shenault, Justin Tucker, Cardinals D, Trey Lance, Tyler Higbee, so nothing over to interest there. Ixan, Nick Chubb, Patrick Mahomes, George Kittle, Robert Woods, Kareem Hunt, Kenny Golladay, Melvin Gordon, Michael Thomas, who is obviously injured for half the year. We kind of glossed over that one in the rundown, but an interesting pick by Ben there in round 8. Devin Singletary, Washington football team, Greg Zerline, Michael Pittman, Noah Fant. Napolitans, Devontae Adams, Joe Mixon, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Lamar Jackson, Kyle Pitts, Raheem Mostert, Devontae Smith, Juju Smith-Schuster, James Conner, T.Y. Hilton, Patriots D, Matt Gay, and Philip Lindsay. Nothing too interesting there either. Pakistan, Christian McCaffrey, AJ Brown, J.K. Dobbins, Russell Wilson, Tyler Lockett, Chase Claypool, Leonard Fournette, Curtis Samuel, Gus Edwards, Harrison Butker, Ravens D, Matt Ryan, and Jalen Waddle. But please jump in if there is anything, Chris, but
there isn't, Vanessa. I think that potentially has. If you can get that, that's explosive on its day.
That's an explosive team, definitely.
That has a boom or bust nature about it. That one.
Yeah. Roster's team: Alvin Kamara, Justin Jefferson, Chris Carson, Aaron Rodgers, Adam Thielen, Brandon Ayuk, T.J. Hawkinson, David Johnson, Will Fuller, Jarvis Landry, Colts D, Latavius Murray, and Brett Mayer. The dream team.
We did overlook that as well in the rundown, is that he has Jefferson and Thielen.
It would be a very Ross thing to do. We've seen teams do it before, where the targets are concentrated. So
yeah, absolutely, and a team that, well, in theory should be should have lots of targets anyway.
Yeah. The dream team: Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs, Miles Sanders, Amari Cooper, T. Higgins, Tom Brady, Deebo Samuel, Robert Tonyan, Jalen Hurts, Naeem Hines, Saints D, Rodrigo Blankenship, and Tyrell Williams. So a very receiver-heavy team there. Only 2 running backs. Tom's Tyrants: Cam Ridley, Najee Harris, Julio Jones, Terry McLaurin, Travis Etienne, Ryan Tannehill, Michael Carter, Jerry Jeudy, Devontae Parker, Tampa Bay defense: Henry Ruggs, Tyler Best, and Cam Newton. So 3 rookies on that team, 3 rookie running backs. So mirroring my dad's approach from last year.
One of them's going to come good.
Wow, and if you were my dad's team last year, all 4 of them came good if he'd have held on to them.
There you go.
Yeah. And then the final team, your goal: Derrick Henry, David Montgomery, Allen Robinson, Kyler Murray, Cooper Kupp, Odell Beckham Jr., Javonte Williams, Marquise Brown, Justin Fields, Chicago Bears, Robbie Gould, Marvin Jones, and Jamal Williams. So Bears heavy for the Bears fan here at the bottom.
Quite right as well.
Yeah.
That's it. Very, very, very well. That's it. Very run heavy potentially on that team. That's it. But yeah, if you can get anywhere like that on the day, watch out because that bottom 3 is scary.
Yeah. That's so I think between the 2, probably Pakistan. You seem to audibly chime up a Pakistan team. So do we think Pakistan maybe? I mean, it's easy to get the best team when you're drafting number 1 overall because you get, out of the first 21 picks or whatever it is, and the first 25 picks, you get the top 3 players of the draft.
I think it's a pretty solid team. I think he also has the best DST and kicker combo that there is. I think when you have a guy like McCaffrey on all cylinders, it's great. AJ Brown was fantasy gold last year, as was Russell Wilson. You combine that with a few very solid options in there. I think Lockett and Claypool and Curtis Samuel down there as well. He'll be solid for the WFT. Then yeah, I think that if you can get a balanced team like that, that's what you're looking for as a marker really. There isn't really a weak link there. The interesting thing is that even though we've mocked it and we've mocked multiple teams ourselves, is that we've all taken different styles from different people, and you know, if anyone is interested in seeing, you know, or experimenting with a style that's slightly different, at least you can see what the outcome is. You know, so obviously with those 4 tight ends for Dave, the rookies, whatever it might be. If you're thinking, yeah, I'll do that, or I'll take a QB down the bottom of the draft, we've covered that in this. So So hopefully you find it useful.
Was there a least favourite team you had in this bunch?
Is it? No, not particularly. I don't think this. I think that if you just play it safe, you tend to get a reasonably, you know, like for example, like Viv's team, you play it safe with receivers, and you get a pretty average team. I know that the likes of Hill and Diggs are will propel that team along, but you think about everything else in there. And
you are right though, because those first few picks really do typically form the foundation of the team, and then you're looking at those later round picks to, you know, bring up the difference to bring you a title. I think you're right in saying that Tyreek Hill and Stephon Diggs, while 2 very, very good receivers, you're relying on them week in, week out to shoulder the load for your team. If Sanders doesn't hit as the running back, you're in quite a bit of trouble there, because there's no other player on that team who immediately screams, I'm going to step up and help support this team.
No, you think of guys like Cooper and Higgins, who are admired in
receiver committees is probably the best way to put it.
100%, yeah, exactly. No, as is Devo to an extent. I think it's probably something like that. You need a bit of variety in the team still, even though it may be tempting to go, I don't need a running back, I'm just going to take all these receivers. Just consider what a running back really brings to you in a team.
Sure.
And especially a high-end one. And then you consider if you need that or not. If you need that hassle. If I'm going to pick a running back, you're going to have to go for one. If it's not out of the first round, a guy like David Montgomery or a guy like Mixon or something like that in the second round, who you know is going to be able to give you the volume that you need in a team that's going to be okay. I think if you start going down into the 3rd and 4th round, that becomes a little bit dodgier, and quite honestly, the depth for running backs is just simply not as high.
Absolutely.
As receivers. We've proven this, that you can pick a good receiver in the 30th round.
For sure. So that is the LOC mock draft. You won't have to wait too long to find out how the draft will actually unfold. It is just over a week and a half away. So, this will be the last time we do a podcast pre-draft. So do not forget that it is Saturday the 4th of September. Not that you could at this point, and will be sometime after 2 p.m. Thank you for joining, Chris.
Welcome. It's been good to be here. Good to practice.
Absolutely. Glad you're feeling better, and obviously come draft day you'll be right as rain, and Forge Flyers will be well prepped for the draft, no doubt.
I hope so, yes.
Cool.
Plenty of time.
Indeed, indeed. All right then, so that is it for us today here at the LOC Report. Hope you have a good rest of your week. Hope the draft prep goes well, and we will see you in a couple of weeks. Take it easy, folks. Goodbye.